Thanks, Donny. I have to say I disagree in the most important person here. I totally disagree. And thanks for the great introduction. Well, my name is Nico. As you know, I founded Solidariamente. And the story that I wanted to share with you today is probably how we came to do Solidariamente and what is the plan for the future. And I think just not only tell you the story in 10 minutes of talk, but also be able to share with you what we learned and what I think it's the 3 takeaways that I have for you today, right? So Solidarity in the year 2017, we started with some friends and we just were industrial engineering students at Argentina. And we just wanted to put our extra time at the service of local NGOs. So we said, okay, we're going to do just one project, and that project is going to be our only help during our university career. But we saw that we had extra time, and we saw that we already got certain learnings from universities with which we could help NGOs. So what we did was we launched the first project without knowing of Solidariamente at that point. And there we had two things happened. First of all, the project was a complete mess, which is normal. I mean, failure has to be seen as part of the road to success. And the second thing is, while we were doing the project, we started talking with other students and understanding the situation, and we found out that our idea was not original at all. Hundreds of students at our university were wanting to help NGOs, but all of them were separate. All of them were doing isolated efforts, and they were not being able to really get to the NGOs and help them, probably because of lack of a team, of lack of the experience helping NGOs, or of lack of an NGO. Sometimes the NGOs didn't answer to their queries, right? So at that point, with my group of friends, at that point we were 5, we talked between each other and we said, hey, why don't we, besides doing this project, we take it as a learning and we spread this learning to the other students. So that was basically how we switched from the idea of just helping one NGO to saying, hey, let's create an organization that facilitates that anybody that wants to help an NGO can join our organization. We would teach them how to do it, and we would make that impact come a reality, right? So that was basically what we did at that point. And the main idea of Solidariamente, of course, we still needed to learn. If we wanted to teach somebody, we didn't even know how to do projects for the NGO, right? So we started with an NGO that helps people from slum villages to get a university degree in Buenos Aires, which is called Futuros Profesionales Integrar. That was our first project around 2017, 2018. Our projects nowadays last 3 months. At that point, it lasted 8 months. So you can imagine it was much longer than what we do today, and what we planned at that moment. And basically, how this escalated is we did this first project, and what happened at that point is I graduated, I started working, my colleagues did as well. So the project ended up in some sort of a bypass, And how did we relive Solidariamente is basically in 2020, I get a call from an NGO that we had talked in 2018, who told me, listen, our NGO is not doing really well. We really need your help. And they asked me if I was still doing what I did in 2018. The truth was we had stopped doing this. We had stopped the help, and we had stopped chasing this dream of saying everybody can help an NGO. And at that point is when I contacted Nico that spoke before, and I told him about this idea of relaunching this project as the second pilot of Solidariamente. And if this project went well, we promised to ourselves that we would really launch the NGO as we didn't do a couple of years ago. So that was basically what we did with Nico. We relaunched everything. First came projects in Buenos Aires. For you to have an idea, now we have around 10 projects in Buenos Aires. Then we launched Chile, Brazil. We went to Portugal. We went to Croatia. We're working with Mile now. We went to Africa, to Liberia, to Mali. We went to India, to Nepal. So this started really spreading as a whole, right? So I think when I look back at this whole story, and I think what are the 3 key learnings that I have here to share with you, or the things that I learned from this experience are 3. The first one is the power of attention. And why do I say this? Because when we're talking about consulting projects, most of us probably picture in our heads the big 3 or 4 consulting firms in the world. We picture people with 20 years of experience in an industry, and we would never think of a student on its own helping an NGO, right? 4 students on their own helping an NGO. The truth is, sometimes the NGOs lack hands, and sometimes the students can give much more help than what is expected, and with a proper methodology like we have developed in Solidariamente, and the proper time and dedication and attention, meaning number of hours in a week that you dedicate to the NGO, and you dedicate to do a deep dive on the problems that they are having, and you dedicate to do benchmark of what are the best practices in the market, what are other successful NGOs doing, you can generate a huge change. And we have already demonstrated this. So I think the first thing I have to share with you is sometimes you don't need a scientist. You don't need a 20 years of experience expert to solve an issue. Sometimes you need a group of people with knowledge, with enough knowledge, and with the right power of attention and dedication to the problem to help them out. The second thing I learned from Solidariamente is the power of linking people together. The truth is, me and Nico, we would have never been able to do this alone. And we have more than 100 students today helping NGOs all over the world. And this is thanks to how all the students are connecting to each other, how all the people that have previously joined Solidariamente went growing in the organization, and how today we are not a group of isolated people. We are a network where we have lots of people working together today, but also lots of people that have helped previously, and you can always talk to and understand how were they able to crack the issue that you are facing in front of you today. And probably my third advice, and I think this was due to a mistake that I made when we started Solidariamente, I would advise you to start today with whatever social idea, social project that you have. Sometimes social projects are seen as a dream, as something that, one day I will go and help people here, or do this for the homeless, or do this project for nutrition in the poverty. The truth is, sometimes we think of social projects as something that is too far away. And that was the same mistake that I did in 2018. I did the pilot project, but when I said I'm going to spread this to other students, I started putting mental barriers in my head. I started saying, okay, I first should send an email to these people to see if they are okay. And you start to invent unnecessary tasks rather than really doing the thing. So I think probably my final and last tip is start today. If you have any idea, if you want to do something, if you want to enroll in some NGO, do it. I encourage you to, the course of this weekend, just go ahead and start and put the first step into this social journey, because it's fully rewarding. You will learn a lot. And also we need a lot of people in society to do the same that we are doing here today. So I think it's the best way to start a chain of beneficial events. And I think that's basically my story and the 3 learnings that I wanted to share with you.